And it's like, yeah, that's what you get when you don't use pesticides, right? Genetically engineered ticks to make
Is caused by a certain type of tick
you
is a
allergic to
rising
meat.
public health concern at the moment, and that it's spread across half of the country, spreading from all the way up Canada down into Mexico,
You
and as you can
definitely
see on the
bet your
map
ass
there,
it's here.
covering all those states.
Yep.
Now, this is being spread by the Lone Star tick. This is a tick that has a white dot on its back and kind of stands out when you see it. And it transfers this alpha gal, which is also what it's called, alpha gal syndrome, this alpha gal sugar protein into an individual's body. As a result, the body can develop an immune system response to that sugar whenever one consumes it, with that sugar being inside of most red meats. This seems like some kind of attack or concoction made in a lab, and it very well could be.
I 100% believe it is. They want us to eat bugs, and then conveniently enough, there's a bug that will make us stop eating meat. That sounds like right up their alley. Oh, here's some fake alien stuff. You seen this?
No, I'll go for it.
If you'll indulge me, I'd like to read 2 pages from advice from the extraterrestrials. Yes, it's true that we have been in contact with your government and heads of power. It is also true that it is also true that agreements have been made and kept secret from your people. It is also true that in the past, some of your people have lost their lives or have been badly hurt to protect this secret. Our hands had no part in this. We contacted your leaders because your planet is in grave trouble. Your leaders said the vast majority of your population wasn't ready for anything like us yet. So we made time agreements with your leaders as to when your people would be made aware of our presence. Your air, your water are contaminated. Your forests, jungles, trees, and plant life are dying. There are several breaks in your food chain. You have an overwhelming amount of nuclear and biological weapons, which include nuclear and biological contamination. Your planet is overpopulated. Yeah. Warning, it is almost to the point of being too late, unless your people act. There are better ways of deriving energy and food needs without causing your planet any damage. Those in power are aware of this and have the capability of putting these methods into worldwide use. Those in power view it as a military and security threat. That upset me. You mean to tell me that the people in power have the ability to save and better the planet, and they aren't doing it? Amnesty. What do you mean? Complete amnesty to those in power, governments and leaders who have been suppressing the truth, that they can't be held liable for any past wrong deeds. It is the only way these leaders can come forward with the truth. It is necessary that you do this in order to work together and survive.
Realistically.
Go back to that video.
Through it?
Well, there's like one point where we can see the spine of whatever book he's reading.
I was like, L. Ron Hubbard's.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking thing is in my way.
Light
at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But realistically, I am kind of confident that for countries like Canada and the United States, all they would have to do is attack a couple major cities in Canada and a couple in the United States, and then report on the news that the whole world is being attacked, and everyone would just believe it.
It's a book by a guy named Paul Hellyer, and it was released in 2010. So it's already been 13 years, and what? We were on the brink 13 fucking years ago.
We were right there.
Yep, just like we were going to have an ice age during the 70s.
It's all BS, man. All this alien crap. They're just going to set everyone up for something. Oh, so, you know the Black Kaaba in Saudi Arabia? It's like infested.
Hello
with
everyone. Today I have some urgent news to share with you, all about a significant event unfolding in Medina, Saudi Arabia. The city is currently facing a devastating locust invasion that is wreaking havoc on its agricultural landscape. Let's dive right into the details of this ongoing crisis happening right now in Medina. Medina, a historically rich and holy city, has been grappling with an unprecedented invasion of locusts in recent days. These voracious insects, known for their ability to devour crops within a matter of hours, have caused considerable concern among farmers and authorities alike. The locust swarms, consisting of millions of individuals, have blanketed vast areas of agricultural land surrounding the city. Reports indicate that the invasion began approximately a week ago and has steadily worsened since then. Experts attribute the surge in locust populations to a combination of favorable weather conditions and the insect's natural breeding patterns. Local farmers, who heavily rely on their crops for sustenance and income, are facing imminent danger. The locusts have already caused extensive damage to fields, consuming crops such as wheat, barley, and vegetables. The severity of the infestation has led to fears of food shortages and economic losses within the region. Efforts to combat the locust invasion are underway, with authorities taking swift action to mitigate the crisis. The Saudi Arabian Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with local agencies, has initiated a comprehensive response plan to curb the locust population and protect agricultural lands. Aerial spraying operations have been
I don't know,
launched.
man. If I looked outside and there's like locusts, I'm staying in. I ain't going to work that day.
Yeah, thank God we don't have that problem here.
Yeah, we have like ticks and mosquitoes, though.
Yeah, but we don't have giant ass fucking locusts.
Yeah. Horrifying looking, disgusting monsters.
Yeah.
So this is the father calls a pharmacy after his son has been diagnosed with myocarditis.
Oh yeah, I think I know this. I saved this somewhere too. But
After he
play it.
gets the COVID vaccine. Why
Yeah,
are
he
you
gets-
not
he gets-
telling people about the potential side effects of the vaccine?
He gets pissed.
So I will play a little bit of this.
Wait, didn't we? Did we
No,
put this
I let you watch this.
in
I
a
sent it to
previous
you or
thing?
something. Yeah. I
Yeah.
sent it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna let this play for a little bit. Not the whole thing. It's 7 minutes. This is a real phone call.
Wife, against my wishes, brought my son, 7-year-old son, in there a few days ago for a COVID jab, and he's now in the hospital with myocarditis. And I was obviously not very happy with you guys or with my wife. She told me that she was not told that was a potential side effect. So why wouldn't you have told her that?
Okay, sorry, so it's quite a rare, side effect as well.
No, it's not that. No, it's not, because I've been doing research. It's common. In the U.S., there's tens of thousands of them reported to the CDC site. So why are you not telling parents this?
We might scare the parents and they don't want to get their child vaccinated.
Yeah, so you don't want to scare the parents with something that is actually happening, that's happened to my kid. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You don't want to scare them. You need to give them the right information so they can make a proper decision. What is wrong with you? You don't want to scare them. I'm recording this conversation as well, and this is going to a lawyer next. Thank you for admitting that. So why don't you tell them?
Yeah. I can't believe she admitted that.
When someone comes in there and says, hey, what can go wrong? What do you say? Sore arm? Have you seen the amount of dead people? Have you seen it?
Has your wife asked before giving consent to give
She
the
asked what
child?
the side effects are.
Did she ask? I'm not sure because I wasn't there.
It doesn't matter. You're supposed to tell people this can happen. Now my kid. So you know what the prognosis is? You know what it is? Possible death within 5 years. 20% of people with myocarditis die. It is a permanent damaged heart. It is not temporary. He's
Okay, I'm
facing
so
a heart
sorry about
transplant
that.
because of you. Because you didn't want to scare her. You know, no kids have died from COVID. Not a single healthy kid. And you're giving this stuff out, and you're not warning people. What is wrong with you?
So there are information online that
So as much as I do want to listen to the whole call, it is just under 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It is really good though, and
Well, it sounds like that guy already knew. He already knew because he didn't want his wife
he
to do
didn't-
it,
yeah.
and his wife went and did it behind his back. Like
But
he knew.
really, man, prayers to this guy and his family, man, because there's no coming back from this. You don't
Like
get
you said, the
better.
kid was 7. That means the kid possibly has till like 12 to get like a heart transplant.
It's ridiculous. If you have myocarditis, every year you survive, the chances of you surviving the next year are like significantly decreased.
Yep.
Like you're done. It's morbid, but like, yeah. When you're diagnosed with myocarditis, at least you know how you're gonna die. You know, you can take comfort in that, I guess. But yeah, thanks for.
Well, we
thanks
don't
for
want to
this.
scare them. Yeah, from fucking hell.
New study finds 1 in 35 who receive the Moderna booster suffer injection-related heart damages.
According to a brand new peer-reviewed study, which came out of the country of Switzerland, a staggering 1 in 35 recipients of the Moderna booster shot experienced vaccine-associated heart injury. 1 in 35 people who took the shot experienced damage to the heart. Now, that is obviously a very shocking number. And so let's unpack the details of the study together, starting with the hypothesis that the researchers were trying to investigate. Going into the study, the researchers, quote, posited that the incidence of vaccine-associated heart injury was more prevalent than previously thought following mRNA booster vaccination because of a lack of symptoms or mild symptoms. And so essentially, their hypothesis going into the study was that after getting an mRNA booster shot, a lot more people were experiencing vaccine-related heart damage than previously thought. And the reason for this was because people's hearts were getting damaged in a way where either there were no symptoms on the surface or the symptoms were mild enough for people to ignore. Meaning that the heart was actually injured, but the recipient of the booster shot was simply unaware. And so what these researchers did was that instead of just asking people how they felt after vaccination, they actually went in and they tested their blood. And in terms of what they were testing for, quote, the researchers defined heart injury as a sharp increase in high-sensitivity cardiac troponin T on the 3rd day after vaccination without evidence of an alternative cause. The levels of cardiac troponin had to hit the upper limit of normal, 8.9 nanograms per liter in women and 15.5 nanograms per liter in men. Now, the reason that these researchers decided to use what's known as a troponin test is because it is a very good indicator of whether or not there was damage to the heart. If a person has more of this protein called troponin T in the bloodstream, it means that recently they've experienced damage to the heart.
So there you go.
So asymptomatic is a thing.
Yeah, and it's because of all the people who are, I'm fine, I have no problem. It's like your blood could be clotting at like a molecular level.
Well, how many people this is why athletes are more obvious than everybody else, because how many people undergo strenuous physical activity on a regular
and that's why there's
basis.
so many people like drowning now, because when people go out to swim in the oceans and what have you, again,
Well, like
swimming's
the Obama chef, that guy was like a professional swimmer and he drowned.
Yeah, there you go. It's a lot on the heart, man. Swimming. Oh, yeah. There's a new thing.
Turbo cancer.
Turbo testicular. cancer. So this is just an article
Hey,
asking,
Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
like, out of nowhere, we're getting all these, like, turbo diseases now. And they don't even call it a super. Everyone was worried about super AIDS. Nah, dude. I'm more concerned about turbo testicular cancer. That sounds
1 teaspoon of super AIDS in your butt, you're dead in a week.
like turbo. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's a scary buzzword.
It's like a horrifyingly scary buzzword.
You know what I think would be
Turbo
like really morbidly funny is if they ever finally admit that these vaccines did damage, that they'll release another medication that everybody has to take to reverse.
testicular. To reverse, and it's the same people. The same people pushing it. This time we're telling the truth.
Yeah.
What's that Putz? What's that late night Putz with the glasses that had
Stephen
that-
Colbert.
Colbert, yeah, he'll have like another vaccination song about getting unvaccinated.
I actually was vaccinated, but I didn't want to scare anybody. But
Yeah.
now that it's okay to talk about, I'm taking my anti-vaccine medicine.
I'm
And you should too.
anti-vaxxer. Yeah,
Yeah,
everything flips on its ass.
that wouldn't surprise me.
Be a good, interesting tactic if they went that route. What is this here? COVID side effects: sudden death of young kids. How long is this? 3 minutes. All right, I won't play all this. Not sure what it is.
Middle school and high school.
Player in Philadelphia collapses and dies during a scrimmage. He is the 9th high school athlete to die in the U.S. this year and the 3rd this summer.
That was 2021.
I don't think I can play that without getting copyright struck. These are all 2021, eh?
They'll probably start to 2021. Let's see how far it goes.
I do want to hear this song.
It is a good song.
I know. Are we still 2021? Yeah.
Yeah, this was like right after it was released.
Yeah. All these stories were probably like buried. Yeah, these are all the first year, man. But I see this as like, I see the vaccines as like, you know, if you get like a baboon heart, there's a good chance your body will reject the baboon heart, and then you have like a whole whack of other problems.
Well, your body will reject a heart from another human being.
It can, yeah, for sure. But it can also take it and you know, accept it. And I'm thinking that's kind of like how what's happened with whatever they put in this vaccine.
Well, you know how they, like the medications that they give you for that when your body rejects something, you know what they do? It's because your immune system recognizes that there's a foreign object in your body. So the medications they give you kill your immune system to stop it from attacking your thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm imagining. The people who are experiencing these, like the worst of these side effects, their bodies, again, yeah, like you're saying, their immune system is attacking this foreign object that is causing the whole whack of problems.
Well, that's why there's always side effects, because you've now, it's like chemotherapy. You've killed off your natural defense, and now you're susceptible to everything.
Huh. That was a interesting UFO sighting.
Well, I was going to say it's a reflection in the window, but it goes behind the trees.
It is a weird little cluster. That's pretty much it.
This is like one of the few videos where the person isn't going, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Well, who knows? They may have been, but then this guy probably just edited them out and like put some music.
Some spooky music. There's like one that's like above them, shining a light on the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Fake aliens.
Does that look like a constellation that you know?
No, but it does. It right off the bat, it does. It did remind me of like Orion.
Yeah, the 3 stars in the middle there.
Yeah. But I don't know shit all about constellations. So this is interesting. It's not long, I don't think. Yeah, it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'll let this whole thing play out, but it's how a cyber attack is going to happen on the banks.
It's coming. Klaus Schwab promises you a cyber attack, and I am telling you it's a cyber attack on banks. An attack that will take out the old system and finalize the plans of the fourth industrial revolution. The establishment of digital currencies, CBDC. A huge crash is part of the process and is needed to destroy the old system to replace it with a new system. So what's the new system? WF. Klaus Schwab, warning of the next pandemic. A cyber attack so vast it disconnects the internet. All of this boosts his digital ID and CBDC agenda. The vaccine will be your CBDC, otherwise your bank account will be hacked. Consider saving it for later. They will set an example to make it happen. They might hack a world bank, or they will create threats that will become that serious, in order to establish new laws regarding banks and digital currencies. The reality is, the US economy is being eaten alive by inflation and its debt. There is no way they can survive it. They need to crash everything, and send all to zero to sound innocent once it happens. Let me tell you the easiest way to do so. Worldwide cyber attacks, targeting banks, banks collapsing, people losing all, market crashes and system restarts. Government will be happy and tell you that they have no fault for the collapse of the world economy. They will tell you that CBDCs are good for you, because they can't be hacked. They will suggest you use CBDC instead. Otherwise, you risk being hacked again. The same strategy of causing fear during COVID will be used again.
That's very likely.
Do you want to like pass it over to me for one thing? Because I have something kind of relatable that I just remembered. Got it pulled up here. Yeah, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, official website of the government of the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this attachment right here. In preparation for the global currency reset and the quantum financial system. Currently running parallel. Any international financial activity. Yeah, so like it's because I've heard a lot of people throw around quantum financial system a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, but here you go. It's a thing.
Yeah, there you go. I do believe the fake alien thing, that I don't know. The banks collapsing is a much more.
Well, they'll have to tear it down, but like they were talking about, just the quantum financial system, like it said in that document, it's already running. It's already running. They just haven't switched over to it.
Yeah.
It's already there.
All right. What else do I got here? Oh, it's kind of the same thing that was in Canada. Needed a lung transplant, but was died because he wasn't vaccinated. So it's not just Canada that this is happening as well. This girl in the video, she kind of screams, but rightfully so. I feel bad for her. She wasn't expecting this. Someone stopped on the highway. That sucks, eh? This asshole stopped on the highway, and it caused all that.
And it looks like he was pulling away there too. The car that's in front.
This one?
Yeah, watch that car. Keeps going.
I wish I could see. Yeah, if he was like, "Oh, that wasn't my fault." Just a little bump. Oh, okay, this chick is awesome, or I don't know. It is awesome. Pregnant dad says pregnancy is not a feminine thing.
Sure.
How masculine does this seem to you?
Pregnant when that's such a... If I am transitioning, why am I pregnant when that's such a woman thing to do? I would, first of all, like to say that...
Well, what are you transitioning from, genius?
For me, because one person asked why I don't do, like, surrogacy. I feel like I'm doing surrogacy for myself. It's free for me. If I have the parts, I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my third child. If I have it, I'm going to get my use out of it. So I am going to grow the baby myself. I have it. I'm going to get my use out of it. And then I'm going to get it cut out. I have these. I'm going to get my use out of them. When they're done, gone. Pregnancy's not feminine for me. It's not.
Oh, I can't imagine the horror.
It's funny how they have the Ukrainian flag there when you're like... They don't tolerate that in fucking Ukraine.
But I can't imagine the horrors that her children are going to go through. She said she has 3 now.
I have the parts. I'm a dad, y'all. I'm about to have my third child.
Yeah, she's about to have her third.
Yeah. Oh, man. Those poor kids, man.
I know, man. Game over. Game over. Oh, this is a good little bit.
Yep.
Have you seen this?
I know the act. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Jimmy Doris. I know he has a whole bit. It's called "COVID Lies Are Funny." That's the segment. Yeah.
We don't have too much time, so I guess I'll just play it anyway.
The weird thing that happened around COVID, I'd never noticed this before in any other time of my life, but you weren't allowed to ask questions at any point during this. You just had to do what the man on the TV said, right? You had to do what the man on the TV said without questions, and then you're a good person. But if you question it, then you're a white supremacist Trumper. They're like, whoa, no. No, I didn't vote for Trump. I just have questions. Jimmy, only dumb people ask questions. Isn't that weird? It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Even comedians would get on stage and they would shame people for trying to get informed about a medical treatment that was experimental that they had to take or they would lose their jobs and they wouldn't be able to travel. And when people tried to get informed about that, other people shamed them. They would say, please tell me you're not going to do your own research. You've heard people say that. Please don't do your own research. You know, before COVID, doing your own research used to be called reading.
This is a good little bit. He goes on about, like...
Yep.
What if you go to the car dealership and you're like, oh, don't look into it. Yeah. Well, how would I know what car to buy? Ask the salesman. He's the professional.
Are you a car salesman? What do you know?
Yeah, just get the salesman to give you everything. Oh, this is great. I'm sure you've heard about this. This is, again, in Canada. Transgender rugby player sends like 3 chicks in the stretcher.
3 women's rugby players had to be removed from a game and treated for injuries from hits sustained by a trans woman.
Just bowled him over. It literally couldn't be easier for this guy.
Notice the reaction that he gets from the other teammates of Ash, desperately trying to protect Ash from having to face the public.
This is the trans woman this string is about. That guy looks like he could be the ref.
What the f is he doing? And the second one is, why are these women defending him?
There is something in the water there that is making people go insane in this town.
I really wish that
The women are defending him because he's on their team.
Yeah.
And he's gonna bring them to trophy or belt or whatever they win.
Well, until they come up against the team that has 2 trans men.
Or just a full-on trans team.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't care so much if they just formed a trans league.
Nah, they wouldn't do that though, because then it would just be men versus men. We already have that.
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah.
But they don't want to compete against men. That's the problem. They're not going to agree to that.
They'll never do it. That's what's so funny.
Yeah, they'll never agree to a trans league because then they're just competing against men, and then the playing field is leveled, and then that's not what they want. That defeats the purpose. It reminds me of when Homer bought the Easy Bake Oven, and Marge is like, "Don't use it in the car," and he's like, "But that's why I bought it." So it's like, there's no point of even having the Easy Bake Oven if you can't use it in the car. Anyway.
The female
We'll go through a
players
little bit of
who
this.
are upset about this would start standing up to this insanity.
What gets me, and I've just realised this, okay, the fathers that are okay with their daughters competing against men, and that video very clearly shows that the men in attendance are all okay with this.
Yeah, they're going to equity and tolerance our mothers, daughters, and sisters right into a bunch of wheelchairs or an early grave.
I understand Mr. Davis was the hardest hitting player on the men's team last year, sir. How is he being allowed to play against biological females?
You're disgusting. Get out of my face.
Stay away from me, man. I heard what you were saying before. I think the idea is that you're not being tolerant of other people's beliefs. You think everyone has to believe what you believe. I think we should just be tolerant.
Ladies, what do you think about Mr. Davis injuring biological females? Any thoughts on that? Ash, is it true that you were voted the hardest hitter on the male team that you played for last year? You're the ref. You should be calling this.
I will be calling a very safe game, sir. Thank you.
Keep walking if you don't have good butts. Okay, then. Oh, really? Including a male player injuring female players. That's okay with you? What's wrong with that?
You don't have to talk to the players.
Please don't touch me. Are you with the local media? This guy, Ash Davis, 3 women on the Stony Creek Camels team had to be carted off the field. How is that safe? He's a biological male.
You know what? That's not true.
Canada
Mr. Davis,
is
why are you
so
doing
fallen,
this?
dude.
Yeah,
Like
we're
this
living upside
country-
down world here.
Yeah, dude, is so backwards, man. Canadians love to point the finger at dumb Americans when Canadians are literally the dumbest people on the planet. Hands down.
Bulla country, the bullas.
Bulla man. Bulla country. Oh gosh, nah. Canada's full of bullas. The whole land of bulla, nah. Every year's a bulla. Go to Canada. You have a great time, nah. So yeah. Canada. Goodbye. I mean, just letting men kick the crap out of women. And it's
Did you
like...
turn on the sound?
Yeah, it's on. And the guy's like... Why is it like frozen now?
Last weekend, and 3, yes, 3.
Psychological condition.
Like, look at this guy. Look at this dude.
Yeah.
It's too bad you can't, like, go through it like YouTube, you know? Oh, well, whatever.
Well, this is what I was saying to the comedy dude. I was like, dude, like, well, then why do we even bother with men's and women's teams? We should just have teams. There should just be like one unisex. Why don't we just have unisex everything?
At this point, yeah, there's no... If you're gonna do that, yeah, you may as
like,
well...
what's the point? Yeah. Let's just have unisex everything. And then women will be kicked out of all sports because
Eventually,
they won't be able to compete. And then they'll have like another fucking women's revolution like they did in the 20s where they got to fight to have their own teams all over again.
We'd have to trace back to where it all went wrong. What is this? What is this? Oh, this is Andy, yeah. Andy, have you seen this?
Is this the one where he gets milkshake thrown on him? 'Cause that's like
Andy,
super
an
old.
independent journalist, was
Yeah,
physically
this is like very old.
assaulted,
Yeah.
beaten,
had toxic substances thrown on him by Antifa, which sort of runs the streets, rules the streets in this city. He's suing them. The first time I've ever heard of someone suing Antifa.
Yeah, you can't really sue them though because they're not.
They're just it's like suing.
It's like suing
Ku
like
Klux Klan or something.
I don't know. Well, because like they all call themselves Antifa, but there's no like central Antifa organization. Like
I guess so.
Every city has their own little community of Antifa.
I guess it'd be more accurate to say it's like trying to sue Anonymous.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like who we handed the paperwork to. So again, this guy's just trying to preach gospel.
Yep.
And that's what he gets.
In this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, beware lest you be consumed by one another.
Hey, what are you doing?
What is the problem?
What's wrong? What are you doing? You didn't give him any warning. You just grabbed the mic. No, this is the same one that we had in here. Yeah, that was in there. It was not out here. What is wrong with you? What are you doing? You didn't give us any warning. Let it go. You guys have been warned.
They say we can they say we can speak out here on the sidewalk freely.
You can speak, but there's no amplified device.
Nobody told us that.
What are you doing? Nobody told me that.
Well, how come there's no amplification? Hey, you guys are acting like thugs, man. You're acting like straight up thugs.
Hey, you're taking away my property.
He has every right to be out here engaging in speech. He has every right to be out here engaging in speech. There's cars driving by with their radios playing, that's amplified sound. People are standing out here with radios, that's amplified sound. The ordinance has to do with a decibel gauge. You don't just get to pick and choose which amplification you like and which you don't. That's selective enforcement of the law. That's discrimination on the basis of speech. That's what you all just did. Content-based discrimination based on speech. Walk away. Because you know you just did wrong.
I'm sure if he had that same microphone and speaker and was talking about how great it was now that he's a woman. Yeah. It would be all fine and dandy. They wouldn't have a problem with that. I won't play this whole thing, but again, it's really interesting. It's on BitChute. Dustin Nemos? Check him out. There's a link up here if you want to watch the whole thing. I'll just play a bit of it.
Meet Oliver Schwab. He is the managing director of the World Economic Forum. His sister, Nicole, is a member of the executive committee for the World Economic Forum. In July of 2021, she said that COVID was a huge opportunity to have their Great Reset.
I see it as a tremendous opportunity to have this great reset and to use this huge flows, of money to use the increased levers that policymakers have today in a way that was not possible before.
Their father, Klaus Schwab, is the founder of the World Economic Forum. 7 years ago, he announced plans to start tracking the entire population and merge everyone with a central machine, what he now calls the Great Reset. The Schwab family is working together with other families because that's how Team Evil works. You can call them the Illuminati if you like, but they have no official name, and they are not illuminated. There is no telling how many family bloodlines are involved, but they keep it in the family for three main reasons, and they all have to do with power. First, and most simply, as a way to gain and maintain their fortune. Secondly, is to carry out long-term secret objectives. These families use insurance
This is a good
companies
watch
and private trusts
if anyone is
to protect
interested.
their own fortune from the
Do you want to keep going with this, or are you good with it?
that they created, and to generate the kind of
we're
money
already
needed.
like informed on this. Oh, I don't know if I wanted to play this. Something I came across. Oh, this is so messed up. So, this is a while ago, but these two parents neglected their baby, and their baby died.
Yeah.
And he calls 911 like a half an hour after he found his daughter.
Yeah.
And In the end, they both got life sentences, which is good, but he's just like, if you hear this call, how he's...
Hour and a half, I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I should do. And they said, wait till they're here to call, the police and get that going. Basically, it got to the point where I was waiting so long, I just kind of went ahead and did it anyway. And we were almost here, so I was waiting on legal counsel.
So you found the child an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
And called your lawyer first?
Hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other children in the home?
So he calls his lawyer before he calls the cops, and then he waits an hour and a half before he calls the cops. But it's just this here bit at the end. They're like, why did you wait so long? How did you know she was dead?
The baby doesn't just instantly die from malnutrition either. Like that's something that you have to have been doing for like days or weeks. Like
they're like, when did you last put? He's like, I put her to bed at 3 o'clock, and I went to check on her at 10 o'clock this morning. It's like, do your kids normally sleep that long? Yeah. She normally sleeps that long. And it's like, all right, I want to find out when the cops like, how did you know she was dead? Like, why didn't you call us immediately?
You go down for bed.
Okay. And how old are the other children?
Okay, I think that was right there.
This is my infant. They don't all kind of run on the schedule, but she basically eats and, she's up for a half hour after that, and then she goes down for bed.
Okay.
Oh, bad.
And how old are the other children?
4 and 2.
And there's 2 other children?
Yep.
And they're at home right now, right?
Yep.
And you said when you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you consulted with a lawyer?
Yep.
Do you believe she was beyond help already?
Oh, yeah. She was dead as a doornail.
That bit right there. You believed your daughter was dead already? Yeah, she was as dead as a doornail. Who could, how can you talk that way? But they both got life sentences. I have the reaction saved. If you could find the reaction of him and his wife when they get
sentenced to life.
Sentenced? Oh, it's funny because the wife doesn't really understand she's upset. You can see her emotions are in her way about her child. Every time the child is mentioned, she gets all sad. But this dude here, his mouth is just like wide open. As soon as they mention life in prison, his mouth just drops and he's like in shock. It's pretty funny to watch. A critical thinker? Should I get vaccinated? What's in it? Yeah. Who developed it? Who manufactured it? What's their track record? You can read all this, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is just something funny, I thought. TV
I
says
don't want to be considered a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to lose all my friends.
Mm-hmm. Herd immunity. This is all pretty accurate. So this is another athlete. That I'm sure mainstream won't ever cover. This is a video I came across. This asshole. What do you think? Do you think the groom here is in the right or the wrong? Out of curiosity. So that's the best man.
Yeah, idiot. What are you fucking doing, man?
Yeah, clearly, dude. That...
Did he get drunk?
Oh, yeah, he must be drunk, dude. He's gotta be drunk. He's gotta be wasted.
Yeah, I would have punched him too.
He probably came for a hug or something.
Yeah, man, party.
Yeah, that cake was awesome. That cake looks so delicious, dude. Oh, I would love to have some of that. But yeah, what a dumb asshole.
Probably not his best man anymore.
Oh, yeah. What is this? Oh, again. Yeah, just some Elon Musk lies.
I don't think it's really lies. He just wants to do what they're already doing in China. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. He wants to turn
Twitter wants
Twitter into WeChat.
Yeah, he wants it to be your banking app,
your
news
everything app.
Yeah,
which he can very well do. Like, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be.
He did put out a thing recently about how like anybody who like. If your employer fired you because of like a tweet that you made or something like that, then Twitter will cover your legal fees.
Shame. How would you prove that though? I guess if they told you. That's why they're firing you. Yeah, he'll definitely succeed at turning this into a WeChat, for sure. Like, I have no doubt in my mind he will.
The question is, what will Zuckerberg do?
I don't know, man. Like,
he'll put out a cheaper version of it.
And censor it immediately.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's the thing with Threads. He's working hard with the government to censor Threads.
Well, like they said Threads got like so many users right away. That's because they automatically signed people up. If you had an Instagram account, then they set up a Threads for you.
But if you look at the numbers now and how many people...
Nobody's using it.
Yeah, the current users and how many people just like...
The Twitter killer.
Unsubscribed.
Nobody's going to call it X. How long is it going to take for people to start calling it X? Using X? I sent out an X.
Yeah, no one's got... I know. He's probably still just keeping it Twitter, but that's the new logo for it. Like, he got rid of the stupid bird.
Yeah. X.
So yeah, this is very familiar on how North Korea became North Korea.
People don't understand how North Korea became what it is. In the 1940s, Kim Il-sung came to North Korean people saying, like, injustice that there are rich people and there are poor peasants. If you give me your land and your freedom of movement and freedom of speech, I'm gonna give you free education, free healthcare, free housing, free food. And I'm going to make all of you be equal and happy.
Yeah.
The equality of outcomes made us to bought that idea. And once Kim Il-sung took all our private property and land and rights, he did not give us anything back. He enslaved us. So this idea where the college should be free, housing should be free, why they want free things? Like, nothing is free in the world. People don't understand how North Korea...
So, it's funny she says that
I feel like there's two ways. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Why they want free things? Like, nothing is free in the
world. Didn't Biden just...
He tried.
800,000? Yeah, he tried to, eh? Didn't pull that off?
I don't know if he did or not. Like, he got stopped the first time. I don't know if he can try it.
I heard
there's like two ways that can happen though, right? Like, because like I had this conversation with Commie guy before too, where he's like, because he thinks like in Star Trek, like the Federation is their communist utopia. I was like, no, it isn't. Your communist utopia is the Borg.
Yeah,
you guys are like, what you want is to be the Borg, and like that's your ultimate collectivism right there.
Hive mind.
Yeah, whereas like the Federation, like sure they had all that shit free, but they respected individual rights above everything else. Like when you joined the Federation, you weren't forced to be just like every other planet in the Federation. They wanted you to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had their prime directive is to not interfere in your culture.
Yeah, they don't go to the Klingons and be like, how come the women how come the women aren't it's like the women too, the Klingon women.
Because it could be possible to have these things in a world where like there isn't money or it's significantly cheaper or free, and it not be a collectivist nightmare, but not the way that your communist ideals are gonna. It'll never happen that way.
For years, the Ferengi have been discriminated against.
Yeah. Well, like they always talk about like minorities. We got to protect minorities. Like the individual is the ultimate minority. If you don't respect the individual, then you got nothing. You got nothing, because there'll always be a power dynamic.
Dude, what was the name of that? Gee, I don't know if you remember it. I think it came out in the 80s. There was this TV show. It was fucking cool, man. So these aliens crashed on Earth, and they were pretty much identical to us in every way, only they had like these weird cone heads with like dots, like moles on them. So
Are you sure it's not cone heads?
No. This was a really good TV show, and they crashed here like thousands of them, and they were like exactly like us, like exactly like they thought like us, they acted like us, they had the same like kind of law enforcement. So then they like the whole show was about these weird aliens now like living with us, and how it was like, I don't know, I remember it was a pretty cool show. There was like one of the aliens was a cop, and he was
Wasn't Third Rock from the Sun?
No, I can't remember the name of this. This was long before any of that, dude. This was
the
like
70s.
No,
70s
this
or
would have been
80s.
like the 80s, yeah. 80s or early 90s. The show would have come out in probably the early 90s, man. I don't remember the name of it. Unfortunately, I'll have to look into that next time. Did I play this? Yeah. What is this last one?
Died suddenly. Yeah.
Only 43 seconds, so I'll just play this out.
Again, another conspiracy theory turns out to be 100% true. After relentlessly calling it a conspiracy theory, the New York Times and the CDC now admit authorities overcounted COVID deaths and overhyped the pandemic. About a third of official COVID deaths, or hundreds of thousands of deaths, were not due to COVID.
Our bad.
So, hey, a positive COVID milestone. Is it that you're going to stop lying about COVID deaths? Is that the COVID milestone? Well, I guess that's positive. You know what? It's also a milestone. So great job, New York Times. Again, another.
Damn it. That's
sorry. Sorry, that's my B.
I got.
That's my B.
Ooh, we won't let it happen again. Sorry.
Promise. Pinky swear. Please just forget.
Human error.
Yeah. We didn't know better. We didn't know. We didn't listen.
But yeah, man, that is it for me. It's already late.
Yeah.
But it was good, man. The original series. All right, brother. Well, I'm getting out of here, man.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yeah, you have a good one. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Party.